Today we are going to be dissecting an absolute crypto disaster that happened with OMUSDT.P, OM, which is also known as Mantra, the crypto. As you can probably see, on April 13th, 5 days ago, OM fell a lot, to say the least, about what it was, a 95% loss. Pretty major thing. A lot of reasons why this happened, and I'm going to show you probably the best indicator for you to predict when this is going to happen the next time. It's from Binance, and it's a free indicator that anyone can use. But before I show you that, let's talk about what went wrong. Lack of liquidity, meaning lack of limit buy orders, lack of really a lot of buyers, to be honest with you. There were too many sellers and not enough buyers, and a lot of these sellers were forced sellers, being margin called, and also being liquidated and stopped out. And also probably a bit of panic too. And then on top of that, probably news traders or people who wanted to trade the momentum. A lot of reasons why it went down. But here's a big one. Market data from Binance. Now, at first, this might not look like much, but let me show you something. Look at this. Yeah. Do you see how it kept increasing? There was a ratio of long to short positions, not on futures, guys, but on margin, which is basically saying how many people are borrowing Tether to margin buy, OM, versus how many people are actually shorting OM by borrowing it. And there was a ratio of 500 to 1, which essentially means for every $1 US, or better example here, for every 1 OM position short, there were 500 long. Yeah. That's a lot. Look what happened to this graph. We go from 500 to 1.8. I have never in the history of trading seen something like that. 1.8. Yeah. That is absurd, guys. Going from 500 ratio to ratio of 1.86. It's really sad, but every single long position was killed. Just about, and you might be like, Bennett, why is it above 1? It's probably because some people just did an arbitrage where they borrowed spot, at the local market bottom, and then also shorted the perp, maybe to do a delta neutral trade. But essentially, everyone was wiped out. This is a really, really, really helpful indicator when it comes to altcoins. I will tell you this: when you're using the long short positions ratio, I don't think it's as helpful on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has a lot of factors. Other cryptocurrencies might not have as many factors to why they rise and fall. Bitcoin has a lot. I do think that this is a great indicator for medium market cap altcoins and small market cap altcoins. Really perfect. Now, long short user ratio, I don't really care that much about this one. You can see that it was already quite high at 19. But what matters a lot more at the end of the day isn't how many people with the ratio, but what really matters is how many positions. One thing I want to tell you about margin trading that you might not know: longs and shorts do not have to be equal. Seriously, hear me out. In futures trading, the way that a futures contract works is that open interest is always equal. Always. If I enter a long position, there's only two things I can do to get in. I have to have a old long sell to me, or I have to have a new short open a trade. If a new short opens and I open interest goes up. If a previous long sells their long position to me, open interest stays flat. Nothing changes because he just sold his, his position to me. So that's not the case with margin trading, guys. It's not. There can be crazy ratios out there where so many more people are borrowing, let's say, Tether versus actually borrowing the currency itself, OM here, or the other way around. Let's say that so many people are borrowing Bitcoin, but just no one's borrowing Tether. Well, that would be the reverse kind of thing. That would likely lead to a short squeeze. Now, the thing is, a lot of traders on Binance were offered 5x margin when they were longing OM. Now, 5x leverage would probably liquidate you on like an 18% move, maybe a 17% move, and yeah, that happened multiple times over. So if you want to add a new indicator for basically predicting absolute devastation for a cryptocurrency, I'd say an increase in the long-short positions ratio is really top-notch. I actually like it better than the futures long-short ratio because futures are always 50-50, so all that it's telling you is how many people are long or short. This is actually real data on how many coins from spot margin are long or short, which I think can be a lot more helpful. So if you want to use it, another thing you could do is look for cryptocurrencies that have been very volatile, then go check out the long short positions ratio. If you find something like this, that means that a lot of longs are probably about to die. If you find the reverse, where it keeps going down, just know what that means. That means that a lot of people are borrowing the coin itself, which means that a short squeeze might be imminent. Okay? So as you can see, this was an absolutely crazy meltdown. Yeah, it went down to 1.86 is just crazy what happened. You know, we could apply it to other cryptos. Again, Bitcoin, it just doesn't work as well. But there are plenty of other cryptos, you know, you can look at to go see, you know, hey, is there something here or there that might have a lot of borrowing? I'm trying to think of some cryptos that might, but I guess you're gonna have to figure that out yourself. I don't think any large market caps like Cardano, I don't think that's going to work well there. I think you need to use this kind of elite indicator on a mid cap or a smaller cap. Smaller cap would probably be nice. Just to see if too many people are just borrowing something, in this case, Tether to buy, to go long on this coin. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Of course, it always is relative. You know, you can't just look at a number and say, oh, I'm going to short because it's high. It needs to be relative, right? So that's what we're trying to look for. Now, as for currently the trend of OM, there's really nothing happening. So I'm not expecting too much crazy volatility, i.e. I'm not expecting the price to teleport back up. That's not going to happen. Very likely not going to happen. If we look at the 24 hours, we can also see there's just not much activity really, to be honest with you, right? Now, a quick explanation of what margin debt is. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's people owing money, okay? When you take a position short or long with margin, you are going to be accruing debt. And this is just going to show you how much debt in OM is being accrued versus like, you know, like Tether, okay? A really easy way to look at this is just go down to here. This is pretty cool too. We can see how much of a coin's been borrowed versus repaid. As you can see, a lot of this coin's been borrowed. Not as much has been repaid. What does that tend to mean? Well, if a lot of people borrow OM and they need to pay it back, in order to pay back OM, I think that they would have to likely buy, right? Because they borrowed it, they sold it, and they got to buy it back. So if there are a lot of people that borrowed and not a lot of people that repaid, then that could be a lot of demand for OM because they have to buy it back, you know, because they shorted it with margin. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope that this is helpful for traders that are looking to gain an edge. As you can see right there, look at the growth of margin debt, 1,276%. Yeah. This is a percentage basis. So that means that the amount of money that people owed grew 13 times. Yeah. If you are interested in very high alpha like this and trying to spot opportunities like this with eventual long squeeze or short squeeze, let me know, or just join the Discord. Super easy way, and it's super cheap right now. So go check that out. Happy trading, everyone, and be the one shorting OM at the top, not the one buying it. See you guys.